Hello. It's me you're looking for.
It is Blastin or stashin. I get that off there. I don't even know how to get Lionel. Where are you, Lionel? There you are, Lionel. There we go. Blastin or stashin, episode 212. Look at the comic books that came out last Wednesday, November 25th. Correct? Yes. Yes. It's Black Friday today, too. So, first time catching. Happy Black Friday. First time catch the show, what we do is read the books that come out the week. We blast the books we hate. We stash the books we love. You can go get these cool t-shirts, the Pocan Joe, that looks like the G.I. Joe emblem, the Thunderlust, as well as the OG shirt. What's Mike doing there? What are you flashing? Gangster signs down there? Little West Side. What are you doing, Mike? Can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, you were messed up on my end, but you're better now.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been doing this week. Night before last, I just watched The New Mutants. I was able to rent it and stream it at home. I don't know. It was okay. I guess there were a couple pretty cool scenes in there. But I like how it expanded the rest of the Marvel universe with Essex Corp and some of that. I mean, that's been kind of trickled in with other movies too. But overall, this did not fit the overall Marvel world. I mean, maybe that's what they were going for, something a little bit different. I don't know. But I know you guys watched it in the movie theater. What did you think of it?
It sucked. I'll say it was horrible.
I didn't find it horrible. I like some of the characters. Magic was okay. But I think I could have wrote a better New Mutant story. There's so much that they could have done, especially hinting at Mr. Sinister. But yeah.
Double S is what up, Huey, Joey, and Michael. 2 thumbs up, not 3.
President of our fan club, everybody.
He is the president of the fan club. Where is this? I'm trying to look for something else real quick. Where is it? There's. That's what I want to do. Did that cover Mike up too bad? No, that won't cover. Let's do this. There we go. I don't want to cover Mike up down in that bottom corner because nobody puts Michael in the corner. You're on Blastin or stashin. So, I also watched Ford vs. Ferrari again yesterday with my father-in-law and my dad when he came over for dinner. That's always a good flick. My wife's getting into Big Bang Theory. We've been watching that together a little bit. Never really watched it before.
Really?
Yeah.
I've maybe seen. I can count how many episodes I've seen on my hand.
I've seen them all.
Yeah, it's never got to me.
Well, so what do you have, Mike?
What's up?
What have you been doing?
I've been working. Of course, I had Thanksgiving off. We had plans to go to Joey's house, but of course, because of reasons, my wife is quarantined. She doesn't have corona. That's a precautionary thing through her company. So we sat at home and I killed Christians.
I don't know what that means.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Oh, okay.
Valhalla. He's been killing Christians.
Poor Mike says, y'all blasting and stashing, but I was bagging and boarding today. Hope all is well.
Nice.
That's always good and therapeutic.
I like poor Mike.
Always good therapy.
Yep. I have a whole big stacks of bags of boards, but I haven't bought anything new that requires new stuff in a while. What about you, Joe? How was your Thanksgiving? What'd you do?
Oh, well, we hosted Thanksgiving dinner, so we had family over. I cooked the turkey and the ham. Then people brought food over. We were missing my antipasta tray that I was supposed to have because I actually asked for something.
Hey, bro, you could blame Wawa for that shit.
Yeah, right.
fucking Nazi Germany, Wawa.
I had to go back to work today, so most of the work today, and then I'm almost finished with my 10 Rings project that I did the promo for. As a matter of fact, here's their rough cut, unpolished They're still glowing a little bit. So this is going to be really cool. I hope you all enjoy it. Video should be up this weekend unless, something happens when I'm polishing them and I take a finger off and have to go to the ER. And exclusive information for only Blast or Stash It listeners and viewers out there. The next 30-day project challenge for myself, that's Nerdum. I'm going to make Mikey a Keyblade. I have no idea what this thing is. I've seen him in comic shows. So I'm getting all my information together, and then we're going to get the materials and figure out the best way to build this. I think I'm going to try to blacksmith it. I think.
If you don't know what a Keyblade is, it comes from the video game series Kingdom Hearts, the Square Enix Disney crossover. It's the main weapon for all the characters, really. So yeah, it looks like a fucking key.
It's a giant key.
I think it's more like a blade.
Yeah.
And Keyblade.
I think we're going to make the one that I believe Sora carries. Is that correct, Mikey?
I think so, yeah.
Again, I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I am going to try to make one anyway. So we're going to see if this becomes an easier one or a harder one. I'm not sure.
No, he's not making the ultimate Keyblade. He's just the basic starter Keyblade Sora carries around.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Hassel from Astral Games, comic book store in Medford, Oregon. He says, little retail therapy here. How did your Black Friday go, Aaron? Did you get a lot of people? I know we're with a lot of restrictions here in Oregon, a lot of limitations on how many people could be in the store at a time. Restaurants are all closed. Kate Brownwood didn't want more than 6 people gathered in your house, and all I can say is, I can't say that here. Never mind. I'll get on some list if I start saying stuff. But we just said, you know what? We're going to invite who we're going to invite. So let's go ahead and jump into the books. We want to start with, yes, Mike, go ahead.
No, I'm stretching.
I thought you were getting ready to do some magic.
Yeah, there's your magic.
Yeah. Take Klee and a blade and you get a Keyblade. That's what Aaron says.
I'll drink to that. I tell you what, if it takes as long as these damn rings did, that's probably what I'll do.
I know Mike or Joe, you're drinking. What are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am drinking a local brewery, former Navy SEAL, recently retired, and I'm drinking his Frogman Lager. And man, is it good! Frogman Lager, good and good for you.
I think Ram is not just a local restaurant and brewery. I think they're all over the United States, or at least Pacific Northwest. I know there's one up in Seattle too. So I'm drinking. I got a growler from the Ram. This is a pale ale, and that's what I've got drinking tonight. I don't think I'm going to finish this thing up. Got about a quarter of it left. I don't know. We'll see. I got to work tomorrow. I can't get drunk. I had to work Thanksgiving and today, but I get double time and a half working those days. So I'll take it. So let's jump into the books. We want to start with Marvel, DC, or an independent. Joe, start us out with something. Start us out with a Marvel book.
All right. Should I just go ahead and do the X of Swords thing now?
Might as well, because I didn't read it.
Okay, here we go, folks.
So Mike's already shaking his head no in disagreement.
No, you don't want me to?
What?
Yeah.
No, I didn't read that shit either.
Okay. So we're going to kick this off with 22 Excalibur. And then we got Destruction. Well, I got that 1 per store variant for that. So that was a good thing, I guess.
Yeah. Is that 1 per store there? Let me make you the big one here. How do I do that? There we go.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, so there's the 1 per store I was able to pick up. Got it for a pretty decent price. I don't know why. If you've heard any of my reviews of this, I've been tearing it apart anyway. And then 22 of 22. I'm sorry, I got these backwards. This is 21 of 22.
Is that a Peach Momoko?
I think that's it. And then the 1 per store. So how did all this end up playing out? The last book was pretty good. Like I'll give it its due. But all in all, an X-Men 15, Sword of X, Apocalypse and Genesis have to fight it out. So they kind of do and they kind of don't, which actually unleashes an entire army and battling. In the first one, however, in Excalibur, that's where the all-out war kind of continued on. So you had the otherworldlies, the Guardians of the Green, which I didn't even know Jubilee even know who these people were, if that was a thing in Marvel, because I've been out of X-Men. But before all this, the boring book, and man, was it boring, was basically just a bunch of back and forth. Scott Summers and his family, or his wife, Jean Grey, they're talking about going to go help their kid, Cable, right? Because Cable's in trouble. Here's the count, okay? In the entire comic book, which I found absolutely hilarious, there was 96 panels of some sort of decision to go to the other world and help battle, right? And 5 panels of action. And that was it. Literally, they did the little 9 boxes per page where it was like, we should vote on it. Should we vote on it? I'll give Hickman one thing. He knows Roger's Rules of Order very, very well. But then everything's kind of started picking up. And like I said, Apocalypse and Genesis start fighting it out. And then it's all out war. The conclusion, spoiler, so basically it's kind of like this weird kind of draw thing that kind of happened because the Captain Britain Corps was reestablished in one book and they fought. Next thing you know, it comes down to like this kind of weird draw, but so they have to exchange, right, for each world. So the other worldly gets somebody from Krakoa and, somebody from the other world. So Apocalypse is like, well, I'm going to go hang out with my wife, even though she's trying to kill me. So I volunteer. So he's going to go to the other world to go hang out with his family, even though they tried to kill him. And then Apocalypse decides, well, I'm going to decide, who from, the other side goes to Krakoa. He picks the other island, Akoa, because technically it's a mutant. The 2 islands have been trying to get together for a while now so they can make baby islands or
Little
whatever.
brown chicken, brown cow.
Freaking deal is. I don't know. This entire event, it was so bad. They called it X of Swords, and there was like maybe 4 sword fights in the entire thing. The rest, one of the things was a marriage. That was a competition. That was god awful. Stacking cups was a competition in it. It was just so draw. It was just like, hey, let's throw some ideas out there and see what sticks. And it was like, you know what? Throw it all in there. And I was just like, no. So all in all 3 books, X of Swords overall, the entire crisis is a blast for me, unfortunately. The few things that did happen that were cool just weren't enough to hang on. So I'm done.
Aaron says, so a boring DBZ episode. Is that Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. That's one I never got into. Dragon Ball.
Near that. Over 9,000. That's all I know, just because it's a meme. And I'm not sure if that's Dragon Ball Z. Double S says it's pronounced Peach Coco, Michael.
Peach Coco, Peach Momoko, Peach go fuck yourself. She's a horrible artist. Yes, I said it.
And we have Second Street Marvel in here giving us 2 of the rocking out with your cock out. And Double S said, like I've said before, I commend Joe for reading Ekman and X of Swords story arc. Hickman's writing is confusing to me. It is to me too. But I'm going to talk about a Marvel book I almost dropped. And I'm actually glad I read this issue because I thought this issue was really good. It had a lot of action in it. And that is Maestro number 4. This was actually a really good book. So at the last issue, Maestro is going to try to take over the town because he wasn't recognized as this good leader. And so Hercules beats the living crap out of him, where Hulk finally submits and says, I'm done. But Hercules is all like, oh, I'm glad to hear because I didn't want to kill you. We're good friends, blah, blah, blah. But Maestro never forgets. So he comes back, I don't know if it's years later, but sometime later. And he brings what is probably generally almost any man's weakness is a hot girl that's willing to drop trowel. to get with the Herkster. So they, Herc's like, oh wow, I'll take your gift, and he goes in the back room, locks himself in, but she turns into vapor, and goes up his nose, kills him, and then Maestro always gets his revenge. Yes, Michael, what are you going to say?
Hasn't Hercules always been known as a little sex crazed?
I think
basically he'd stuck anything.
Yeah, and they kind of played that out in here too. I mean, a little bit. He's looking like, hey, dude, yeah, sure, I'll take your gift you're going to give me. So, but I thought it was a really good episode or issue, and there's only one more left in that run. But I found out looking through the Marvel previews guide, there's another series on Maestro coming out. This issue 2 is in here, so this is not the end of the Maestro storyline, just the end of this little arc here, how he gains power, I guess. So, but actually, it was really good. I'm looking forward to actually finishing that up. Joe, did you read that one this week?
Yes, I did, and I absolutely loved it. I'm on board with you. I was going to drop it, and then I was like, you know what? I feel kind of bad because my count is a little lower than normal, so I might as well go ahead and pick it up. So I pick it up, and what do I see? I see Hercules doing the exact same thing Hulk did in the movie with Loki, where he took him by the toe, was just doing the back and forth on the ground, and then called him a puny Hulk and spit on him. That was hilarious. Like, I literally laughed. My wife's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, it's a comic book. What do? Sexy girl turns out to be Vapor and kills Hulk. And then, so what does Hulk do? Because he needs to be in charge and doesn't need anybody ratting on him. Kills her. Right? And then hides the body, which was awesome. So, yeah, we're kind of getting that story of why Maestro or how Maestro came into power. That's good. I look forward to the next issue as well. I like the whole Rick Ross thing in the background, collecting hero stuff. I want to know some more about that, see what happens there. That sounds pretty fun. So, yeah, this is a stash for me, surprisingly. And I blasted the last issue. Just goes to show, you just comic books, man. You never know.
Isn't he right around Xavier's little wheelchair?
Yeah.
Is that what he did? Yeah. Hey, Mike, what do you think of Maestro number 4?
Oh, this was pretty good. What the fuck was I gonna say? For those who Vapor is part of the UFOs, long time Hulk. There's actually like 4 of them, I think. Yeah. So then he kills Vapor. Yeah, this was good. I loved it. I think it was close to my pick of the week, but not quite.
Double says, Huey, getting Maestro for the writing, not for the women panel dropping, though, huh? Dropping trowel.
In this cover, he's obliterating Hercules.
Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
Cover too. I thought that was a good cover.
Do you have another Marvel book you read this week, Mike? You want to start?
This is the only Marvel book I've read.
Okay. What else did you get? Let's go back to Joe. Did you get any other Marvel books this week?
Yes, I did. Man, did I pick up Power Pack?
Oh, I picked that up, but I didn't read it yet. Yeah.
So I'm going to spoil this for you. This is not a book for your middle-aged comic book reader. This is for children. This is for kids. Because basically it tells kids it's okay to lie to your parents. This also falls into the whole Champions run because it's a tricky one. I didn't think it would be a tie-in. It's a tie-in to everything that's going on over in Champions. So the question is, what's going on over in Champions? Remember Civil War? Now let's add a bunch of kids to it and tell the exact same story. That's it. That's what's going on over there. And here's a tie-in. This is the second time Power Pack has entered or launched, and I can't remember if they launched early this year or late last year, but obviously they needed a relaunch, and the whole Kamala's Law thing is nothing more than the Civil War storyline. So reading this, I was like, it's not really my book. And then the ending came along, and I absolutely despise Champions. I was like, oh. The beginning of it was funny. I did enjoy it. The little girl writes a comic book, explaining how they got their powers and everything instead of your usual narrative. I thought that was kind of ingenious. But then it unfortunately had to get into its real story. And again, it's a social justice warrior comic book. How do you know? It's people sitting around eating and drinking for most of the panels. That's how you know.
As well as the youngest one making an excuse to leave the table to go fight the bad guy by plugging the toilet up. She plugged the toilet up to get her brothers and sisters to come help get it figured out. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this is definitely, when I was reading through this, yeah, this is not for middle-aged men. Definitely more for the teenage, because there's some of the language in here, like
I think you might be having a problem with your mic.
It's very staticky.
Yeah. You sound like you're transforming. You sound like an Autobot.
Or transcending.
What he was going to tell y'all, folks, is that it was a horrible book.
Is that better?
Yes, there you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking boomers in here a couple times. I can't. There's some other like modern language in here to really connect with that younger audience. Yeah, I do agree with you. I do like how they do the comic book to kind of like lay the backstory of everybody new coming in, and not just do the same thing. Oh, Batman's, Bruce Wayne's parents killed in the alleyway. We don't need to retell that story, but that was interesting. But yeah, overall, no way. You're right too. I think this was re-released. Power Pack had #1 not long ago too, and I'm like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, because they hinted towards that whole storyline to kind of show that it's still part of it, where they talked about him being in space and her being off to college, and they had to make sure they reminded us that the older sister is homosexual, which is fine. Yeah. But again, I don't know. Is it important? I don't think so.
I really thought, the bad guy was going to be a Trump-esque person. That's what I thought when they were saying corrupted as he was by his insanity, rage, sadism, bigotry, and obsessive hatred of others. I figured, they're going to have a picture of Trump, and I know it. But I said, Double S said, almost sounded like Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
That's fair.
And Power Pack looked lame to me. I'm glad I didn't pick it up. What was something I saw recently and said that movie's a Jigsaw for kids? There's some. Oh, was it Home Alone? No, it wasn't Home Alone. But this is a total turd. It's a blast. Get that crap out of here. If you
millions.
If you came here through the Facebook post, which I made on this video, so I'll be giving away a stack of books.
Power Pack included. Maybe
Power Pack might be included. Who knows? I'll give away 5 or 6 books of people in our chat tonight. Let me know what your favorite thing from Thanksgiving was. How was your Thanksgiving? And some of that. Did your governor try to limit how many people could see you and celebrate the holiday?
Yeah, our governor tried, but he knows better down here.
Yeah, our governor did too. But let's go to Mike. Mike hasn't started anything. Start us up on something on Mike.
What do you want to start on?
You start up whatever you want to start
How
up.
about that DC Future State preview? Are you excited?
No.
Really? Not even for the Bat stuff?
I'll buy the Bat stuff, but I think there's only a few that I've ordered out of that whole Future State stuff. I got a list right here. Harley Quinn, Batman, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman just for the cover. But did you read that, Mike?
Did I read what?
That Future State, or are you going to bring up a different book?
Oh, I'm going to bring up a different book. I flipped through the Future State. Some of it looks pretty interesting. So something important's going to happen at the next, what is it? Death metal or whatever at the end of that to cause that.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm intrigued. Let's talk about I Walk with Monsters. I don't know if anybody else read that.
I did read that. Yes.
I did not.
So this little girl, I think her name is JC. She's been kidnapped, and for some reason, she's not scared. She's talking shit back to this creepy guy who's about to look. She's tied to a chair. He's about to torture her. And all of a sudden, this monster demon thing busts through and eats this guy. Turns out this was a whole setup for this guy, and it's JC's friend David. Then it flashes back to her fucked up childhood, and it just goes from there. And they have plans to take out, I guess, her dad sold her brother to some politician. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I liked it. I'm gonna stash it.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I don't think it's something that I'm going to stash, be picking up anymore. It might be something like if I find the next issue in the dollar bin, I'll pick it up just to kind of like, okay, I'm interested enough that I pay that, but I'm not going to be paying, I think, cover price for anything moving forward on this. But yeah, they give little information. It's a politician, and they have a whole list of people they're going after, and this politician is one of them. And they're constantly looking for missing people to do the same thing moving forward, this act to kind of get her captured, to be able to murder or take care of the other people. Her friend David, though, is not really wanting to go along anymore. He's kind of like wanting to be done. And she's like, fine, I'm going to go on my own. He's like, well, you can't do that. Yeah, you don't have any powers, How are you supposed to do that? But I kind of want to know maybe where he got his powers, if it's something mystical, was something he's born with. What is it? So
I kind of had to go back and reread it because I thought David was her brother at first, but nah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's kind of obscure into politics, which was kind of weird here. It says, "Hello, Jake." I'm blank and a name scribbled out, and his face is scribbled out.
It's Trump.
It's probably Trump. You're right. And then it says, "Vote for what man? Something man."
Yeah, at the end they show that billboard while they're walking down the street. So,
yeah, Orange Man bad. That's what it said. But yeah,
Vault Comics.
It's here. So it's a stash for you. It is a where is it?
Whiskey Dick.
Yeah, it's a Whiskey Dick issue for me for sure.
See, what happens with these independent books, or I'll forget that I picked up issue 1 when issue 2 comes out, and then I'll totally lose it. Like, what's the one we both agreed on last week? The terrorist group.
Oh, Recount.
I'll forget I even read the first one and just. But
that's a pretty badass Baroness cover you got in the background there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Mike Mayhew.
Oh, that's right. I almost bought that, but I chickened out. Okay, let's go. Double S says he got that one as well. Michael, it was a good read for me. Let's jump back in with Joe. What do you got going on, Joe?
Yeah, man, just hanging out, cleaning my teeth. Comic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this death metal issue.
Oh, is that the what is it? Death Metal Multiverse Who Laughs?
Yeah, this is the 1 in 25 variant.
Yeah.
I'm king of the 1 in 25s. It's like my comic book for newsman. This is fun. It's a bunch of stories in here that kind of tell you what else is going on in this way too large of a universe. But the coolest one in here is the Super Pet story that's going on in here. Yes, the Super Pets are in here and they get infected in some way. And I don't know. There's something that's always, something with fangs growling at you. It's scary enough. Now you add a little bit of horror of it being like a zombie or, infested with aliens or transformed in some way. And that just always makes it a little bit more creepier. Pet Cemetery style, right? That happened in here. It was really cool. The last story in here, though, I felt it was very woo-woo and touch and feelings and all that other mess, and I didn't really much care for that. But all in all, I picked this up because I think there might be some tidbits in there. I don't want to speculate too hard on it right now, but there's other stories in there to enjoy as well. So this was definitely a pick for me. It was a pickup for me, and it is a stash for me at the same time. Mikey, did you read this?
I did read that. Where'd Dave go?
No. What did you think of it?
Here's the thing. The backup story sucked. The Super Pets one was okay, but the beginning, Robin King's telling all these what if scenarios about like Martian Manhunter's story, like he's planting his babies in the chest of people and they're bursting out.
Yeah.
And
weird.
Aquaman being raised in the deep and coming back and being like half fit. Those stories sounded amazing. They needed to elaborate on some of these.
Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman going to war with the gods. Flash, he's running so fast that he's catching people on fire as he goes by.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, stories like that. That's what I would have liked to see in this book. But other than that, this is a blast for me. I did not enjoy this except for the Robin King stuff.
Yeah, the Robin King stuff was pretty good. I thought that was a nice way to break into it with the narration. Again, instead of just doing a narration block of, what's going on, I like the fact that he looked directly at you and broke the fourth wall.
It's not the Robin King, but
it's close enough for me. That's pretty cool.
Not even Steel could save this book for you?
What?
Not even Steel could save? Because Steel was in that last story.
Yeah, I know. That sucked.
Yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Not Superman.
This whole book I thought was lame. Really.
What did you think of the book, buddy?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think it's lame. I really think it's lame. Even the animal story was like, that was the only one that was okay for me. Other than that, I'm like, dude, I would never, ever read this again. I have no need for it. It's not even cool. Like, were you talking about these, remember when Death Metal came out, or is it This Metal came out a couple years ago when they had the multiverse of the character Flash? You talk about the Flash from the Dark Multiverse?
No, I'm talking when in the beginning of this, when Robin King is telling, different scenarios on different Earths.
Okay.
They talk about like Wonder Woman going to war with the gods, Martian Manhunter trying to take over the world.
Just kind of give us a snapshot of what's going on everywhere else.
Okay.
I would have rather seen stories like that than what they gave us in the 3 short stories that are actually in here.
Yeah, so like the metal stuff that came out a couple years ago, they had the Dark Flash, they had the Dark Batman, they had all those other characters, they had all those issues. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I'd rather read those than this. Ultimately, this is $6. I don't know. It's a blast for me, and it's really getting hard to want to go buy these because I'm not really finding anything that's substantial enough really to go along with the main story of Death Metal.
There's a few more coming out too.
I know, and I probably ordered them all already. Oh, Jackio says, "Hey guys, hey you guys, hey you guys." So, who's up? Is it my turn?
It is your turn, sir.
I think it is my turn. So I'll
Mikey. Doesn't really matter at this point.
I'll stay big on the screen. Let's talk about The Red. This is by Heavy Metal. The Red. Heavy Metal Comics. So I had to give my LCS crap because there's no barcode on this at all. There's no barcode on the back, nothing on the inside. He couldn't scan it. And he says, so is there even a price on it? And I was like, yeah, it's right here. I mean, dude, right there above that little right below that virus thing. It's so small font. I'm getting older. My eyesight's getting horrible. And I'm like, I think it says $2.99. He goes, yeah, nice try. Try $7.99. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, you
I
do
told him
know.
I was gonna talk about it on the show about how I paid $8 for this. So this is a post-apocalyptic tale. Okay, good. Always love those. It's a nuclear war that's wiped out almost all of mankind. They're all in big cities. Okay, cool.
Again?
I'm digging it.
I like
Again.
that.
Again, there's an oppressive government in there that anything that could evoke any kind of emotions, jealousy, greed, and that is considered banned. It's considered red, and the government takes it away. If you're in possession of it, you go to jail. Okay, cool. I'm digging this. I'm kind of liking it, how it's going. And then it starts going about this character who owns a nightclub, and he has this little speakeasy that's down below the nightclub. The nightclub up top fits all government standards. He's able to work, doesn't violate anything. His little speakeasy down below is where all his shady stuff happens. And so then it turns into a freaking Beverly Hills 90210 kind of crap where he gets this singer in there and his bartender really likes her. And he told the bartender, no, you can't come in and set up. He comes in anyhow. And he yells at his bartender. Bartender's mad. So now he's going to turn him into the government for having this speakeasy down below. So it had all this good stuff going into it. And then it went, I'm like, oh, dude, really?
Like Taco Bell.
Yeah, kind of like Taco Bell. It's always good at the beginning of it, and then as it goes down, you start not feeling it.
I don't know. It's fine. It comes out like pudding, like a shotgun blast of pudding, but nevertheless, it's not like
And it has very much Asian-inspired kind of art in here too. I mean, that's I do like these things. They have little ads in here. The distributor, make sure you take. That's another thing they have to do. They have to take pills daily in order to regulate their mental state, and they have to
I
check.
take that too.
That's some 1984 bullshit there.
So, and at any time, the police can stop you, and you can check and see your levels of this medication. Make sure you be taking it. If you haven't taken it, you're going to jail. So, like I said, all that stuff was kind of cool going into it, but then it all just kind of petered out for me with the whole nightclub and the speakeasy and the trendy people and all that crap. So. Sucky. No buy issue number 2, especially at $8. I mean, it's a thick book. Oh, I like them thick.
You like them thickums.
I like them thick. So, I mean, it was worth to cover that price. I mean, it was a thick book, big book, but other than that, story was just garbage. It's a blast. Nobody else read that, I'm assuming.
Nah, we read good books.
I know.
Sometimes.
Well, you go ahead and give us a book then, Joe. Give us a good book.
Man, you always gotta. Let's go ahead and talk about Batman. That's hot. That's popping. Everybody's liking it. We go ahead and start off by apologizing to everybody and admitting that I was wrong. I thought for sure that the guy running for mayor was going to be this mirror character. Well,
So
no.
did everybody.
Yeah, right. Well, yep. Nope, that doesn't seem to be the case. And even this newer guy that's running for office doesn't even like the mirror. He's like, your whole deep philosophy of you're really looking at yourself when you look at me is crap. It's pseudo at best, And I was like, you know what? It is pseudo. Good on you, future mayor. But yeah, so basically we get a bunch of Batman action here. One good thing that did happen here that I'm really excited for, it looks like we're going to get the good Hush coming in. Hush is back. And it's not the one from Batwoman because nobody liked that. I think it's going to be more along the lines of the one that we're all used to or the one even from the animated movie, which would be cool because he's kind of sadistic, kind of sick, but he has like morals and ethics at the same time. So I'm like, oh, that's going to be good because now we got this mirror guy. He's just a douchebag with pseudo philosophy. We got Hush jumping into it. That's going to be awesome. And finally, somebody tied up all this Batman family bullcrap and threw them in a van. So we ain't got to worry about them for a little bit. That's soothing to me. So yeah, I'm on board. Super stash. Not pick of the week, but stash.
What about you, Mike?
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. I myself thought the mayor was the mirror as well, especially with that cover where he's holding the eye patch. Anyway, I like the Robin stuff in here. Like to see where that's going. Hush is back. Good stuff. I'm stashing it.
Yeah, it's a stash for me as well. Hold on a sec here.
Oh, yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. We agree on it. You should be picking it up.
Yeah, so it's very topical too with the two groups, the anti-bat people and the bat people. They're clashing in the streets.
Oh yeah,
That's very topical as well.
Yeah.
You know, because the mayor's trying to give the mayor the win, you know, and the mayor's saying, I'd rather lose than play dirty. You know, I guess he gave him a thumb drive with a whole bunch of information on dirt on his opponent, and he's like, I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to put my fingerprints anywhere near that because I don't want to have that on my conscience or record. I don't want to win that way. Yeah, and then we get to Jamie Lee Curtis in here as the Hush's little sister or cousin. Didn't look like Jamie Lee Curtis?
It did look like Jamie Lee Curtis. I didn't even think of that, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's when Damien thinks, you know, I have dirt on you. You're not a good cop. You did a lot of bad things, and you're going to turn yourself in. And she's like, you have no evidence. He goes, oh, yeah, I got a pile of evidence right here. Let me find her. Where's Jamie Lee Curtis?
I think that's going to turn into a big heaping bowl of nothing where she was actually covering for Batman.
Yeah. There's Jamie Lee Curtis right there.
Oh, it is Jamie Lee.
She's still very attractive for her age. She's just naturally aging, and that's very very.
Well, heck, Elvira's like what 70?
Yeah, she's up there. She's up there too. But yeah, so that's a stash for me too. I'm looking forward to reading more. What's interesting too with the mirror, he's like, I know you don't like me because I'm wearing a mask. So I'm kind of a hypocrite here. But once this is all done, I'm going to unmask myself as well. You know, so I was thinking for a while it might be Hush, but now we have Hush out there now, so that's not Hush. So maybe it's a whole new character. I really hate when they put an old character in a new costume and, you know, reveal it later.
I really think at the end of it all, now that I've given it careful consideration in the last 2 minutes, I think it's going to be the broker.
He talks about he looks like the broker in the book.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's the way they're going to go with it, so they can kind of shoehorn that character in and maybe even cause a bigger crisis around him.
I'm thinking it's Alfred.
You think it's Alfred?
That's going to be my guess.
Alfred's dead.
It's comic book.
Nobody dies in comic books.
Nobody's really dead ever. That was who brought that up? That was Joe who talked about that. We'll go back to Mike. What else you got there, Mike? What's in your stack?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, what are you touching?
Let's talk about Assassin and Son.
Assassin and Son.
Yes. So I've been waiting for this for a while now. For one reason, it's written by Shad Gaspard. If you don't know who he was a former WWE superstar, part of the tag team Crime Time. He most recently passed away. His son got swept away by a riptide, and he went in to save him, and he drowned as well. So the problem with this book, it's cool. It's about 4 assassins based on the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. One of them, the son's telling the whole story. He's telling the narrative about what happened. These assassins are led by some corporate billionaire douchebag. I like the over-stylized art in it. Unfortunately, something went wrong with the printing. I don't know if you guys read this or saw this. Mm-hmm. It's very muddy. Blurry. You guys noticed that too?
Yeah. Even I thought my glasses, like I had a smudge on my glasses or something. I kept wiping my glasses off.
Yeah, it's very. I like the art, but it was hard to read just because of how blurry and muddy it was. So, but this is a whiskey dick.
You were there with it. Oh, okay.
And in the back here, they put of Shad Gaspard.
You read that too, Joe?
Yes, I did. And luckily, I don't really judge art. You know, art's not really my thing, right? Draw whatever you want in there. I'm more focused on the story, and I absolutely love this. This was like The Professional, only cooler. Like the assassins weren't like potatoes running around that were just good at killing. They actually had character, and more importantly, they had. So you had a set of twins. You had the father, then you had like a cage fighter, and then you had the politician's son, who's a billionaire, and he's kind of a douchebag and a psychopath at the same time. And I was like, okay, I can kind of dig this, and I really like when they do this, especially with a new story, with new characters, with things you're just not familiar with. This was just an introduction story, just to kind of set the rules. That they don't have powers or anything like that. It's kind of like reading an issue of Losers, right? Action packed. They're top of the game. They proved it in here. So now we can start with the actual story. Why is this kid? And they did that thing where they started with the end scene and then the kid's kind of narrating through it. That's okay. I think that's a little cheap, but whatever. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this. Again, ignoring the art in it, even though most panels I was like, oh, that's really cool how they did that. That's my top criticism when I give, unless it's just something really bad, like you paint everything orange, like one comic did.
Like Peach Momoko?
Yeah. He just like, oh, really? People like this? But it's very stylized, like Mikey said, he's on point with that. It's very detailed drawn too. But again, I think Mikey's right. I think something happened in the prelim, and it just got a little smudgy. I know mine was. I know his was. I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak to that. But I liked this. This is something I would probably watch on like Hulu, Netflix, or something like that. And that's just reading the first issue, just the introduction. Letting us know who the characters are. I was like, I could see this. I would watch something like this.
And they don't really explain like how the father died. How old is this kid now?
We're assuming the father died.
Right.
It could be a mother's grave. I think it might be a mother's grave. That would be a cool little twist. And why he has to go live with his psychopathic killer top ace ninja assassin dad. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
But for the most part, I like this. I like the characters. I think it's truly, out of everything I read this week, with the exception of 2 other books, this is probably one of the more uniquer things I read this week. So, yeah, this is a stash for me. And if my comic book store has it, I'm picking it up.
Did they operate a junkyard?
No. This, what is it, 6? Is that it?
No. Uh-oh.
That's my game.
Little Sanford and Son.
I play that in my car when I'm driving around, whatever.
Okay, I'm talking about a book, an independent book that had really horrible art in it too, and that is Black of Heart. Anybody else read that by Source?
Oh my god!
No, I didn't.
So here, let me open to this page right here, and this will give you the whole gist of what the art is right there. Check that crap out. It's very reminiscent of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Remember the art in that? Reading that as a kid. I mean, for me, there were a few stories that scared the crap out of me, and the little images that were in there scared the crap out of me. But this whole story is like, I think it's in 1949. There's this taxi driver picking up women, murdering them, leaving them in the alleyways, cutting their eyelids off, doing weird things to them. And detectives are trying to figure out what's going on. But one detective, the lead, yeah, pretty much, the lead detective has been out in the field forever. Find out his wife's cheating on him, and it's like, I think their anniversary of Valentine's Day. He tries to bring her flowers home to surprise her. She's cheating on him with somebody else, and he ends up getting in a fight. And all the glimpse we get of the killer is when he's capturing a woman. She's in the back seat. He locks her in and gasses her, which makes her pass out. You see him a little bit in the rearview mirror, and then later on down the road, the detectives and the dentist, they're trying to figure out that they know this guy has some medical field, and
It sounds like Jack the Ripper.
kind of. And they end up going. He ends up going to dentist because he got punched in the face and knocked the filling out. And you see that dentist, the same eyes that are in the rearview mirror. So he's at the dentist who is the murderer. So the art was just atrocious to me. It's so dark. Again, art is subjective, but this is not art for me. You know, I guess this is not what. There's a little Lady Gaga for you right there.
It's like Sin City, but bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it.
I was intrigued by this when I read the synopsis of the book. You know, 1949. You know, taxi cab killer. Okay, I can get on with this. Yeah, see, you know, the whole 40s kind of detective thing. But unfortunately, it was just like. What you got? Anything else on that book, Mike?
No, art's horrible. Detective stories, just basic detective stories, aren't my thing. So it's a blast for me.
They all carry a .38 revolver and a trench coat and wearing their fedoras.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
the whole
Dick Tracy. No, Dick Tracy would have even been better than that.
Hey, I was about to say I love Dick Tracy. I like Dick Tracy comics.
Flat top and I don't know, mush mouth. I don't remember all
Mumble.
Dick Tracy.
Mush mouth. Isn't that Fat Albert?
Yeah, that's Fat Albert.
You were way off.
Whatever, you know, it all fits in there. I got a couple more books here to talk about. We're closing in on the hour. Who's up? I talked about that one. Mike just talked about it. Let's go back to Joe.
Okay.
What do you got,
I want to talk about Delta Dogs finally came out with issue 12 on time.
Ooh.
I'll be honest. I'm not just saying this because it's a local comic. I'm not saying this because we had the person on the show. I've been talking about Delta Dogs for a while now, and I absolutely enjoy Delta Dogs. It's a local comic book here in our local area. He just got picked up after our interview. Not that we had anything to do with it.
We did.
He's finally gotten picked up on Comixology. So if that's something you want to do, you pay your membership. It wouldn't hurt you to go check out a couple issues of Delta Dog. They got all the way from 1 to 11 up. They haven't posted 12 yet. This is just fun. And if you're from this area, you know, I don't know how to put it. We have a very unusual dialects here because each one of the cities that we call Hampton Roads or Tidewater have very distinctive dialects, and they write the dialect in here and the areas and everything, and it's absolutely correct. But in this, we get Quan, and Quan's kind of like the leader of the cousins that all have superpowers. And apparently his old gang, the Gray Sox, been taking that pill, that magical pill. If you're not up to speed yet, you need to go read this. They've been taking the pill that gives you superpowers, and he realizes this. And what we see in this is we actually see a moment, and in most comic books, this would be the Whiskey Dick issue. But our writer and our artist are smart. They wanted to be sure it wasn't a Whiskey Dick issue, so they made it pertinent. And we actually see Quan kind of mature and learn from his mistakes in the last issues of being hasty and rushing into things and making bad decisions, where he actually tells himself to be quiet. His old lover, and this artist is getting better and better too, because this old bird in here is banging. I'm telling you. She's a thief. She's a Catwoman type character, archetype. And they have to go steal some more drugs from... Well, they blackmail him into go stealing some drugs. In the meantime, we see the youngest of the cousins who got all pissy and mad because he got left out of, everybody's telling him he needs to grow up and mature a little bit with superpowers. He goes down to the local store, and we see our main antagonist, Snake Wave. And come to find out, Snake Wave's kind of like he's kind of like one of those villains that you really love because, he's all about community. He knows if he gives to the community won't rat him out. So he doesn't know who this kid is. And he's like, hey, kid, let me buy your soda for you. Bam, I'm banging with cash. Also, by the way, come down to the rec center. We're having a pizza party at the youth group thing. So I'm thinking we're going to get like one of those weird culty type, maybe not cult because it's more urban based, but more of that, starting gang area where we kind of groove them into it. I really hope they go that route. Even if they don't, it doesn't matter. This is a good comic book, and this particular issue is my pick of the week. Well, it's my dual pick of the week. I have another one. I'm saving it to the end, but this is one of my pick of the weeks, and I just absolutely enjoy this comic book. It's just fun to read, but it only makes sense if you read it all. And our writer that we brought on here, he kind of hinted towards that. He's like, this is one of those comic books you really got to stay on board with. Super good stuff. Awesome. Love it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about this book. I really didn't think it was going to be anything good because I'm not a big fan of kaiju, the big monsters, the Godzillas. I'm not a big fan of that stuff. But this book was actually pretty good. This is Kaiju Score. I know, Mike, you said you picked it up. Did you read this as well?
I think I ordered it. I don't have it with me. I haven't read it. No.
What we have is this guy. He's a thief, a master thief, and he's had a run of bad luck, and he can't get any job right. Something happens, and now he's on his last leg, and he's trying to figure out how to get this next job to break this streak. And he has a whole team, and he's trying to get these guys convinced to come on too, trying to get backing from it. And he's going to rob. Was it a bank? I can't remember if it was a bank or what it was, but he's going to commit this big robbery during this kaiju attack because everybody has to flee the city or everybody has to shelter in place. Nobody's going to street. Police and everything's going to be wrapped up with dealing with evacuations and all that stuff. And it was kind of cool. I mean, we've seen those and read those thief kind of stories before where they're using another event to try to cover up what they're doing. But it was kind of cool to add a kaiju event in there, and that's the reason, that's the cover for this theft. So it's actually really, really interesting, and I'm enjoyed it. So this is a stash for me, and I'm picking up issue 2 for sure. And they have this cool stuff at the end. I love when comic books do this, where they have know your watches and warnings, talking about a kaiju attack, all that stuff. How to prepare, psychological trauma following an encounter, fact versus myth. You gotta fact check everything nowadays.
I'm gonna have to get that.
That's
if I didn't already, I don't remember what I ordered.
You got to admit, it's better than a Hickman's email to another email in between X-Men series.
Myth number 1, kaiju eat people. People are not typically on kaiju's menu. However, there are rare incidents of divers being accidentally eaten while the whole schools of fish are being swallowed. A few boats have been actually accidentally eaten, but those are unintentional, and most human deaths occur as collateral damage from landfalls when buildings or other structures are compromised. So it's just kind of cool to have that stuff at the end of it too. So this is definitely a stash for me, and this was picking up some steam too. I heard already it's like already picked up for a movie or whatever. So I don't know if it's actually selling at all.
That comes out's been picked up.
Yeah, I could see that too. But it really sucks when it's right out of the gate. I mean, if you order books, that's not so bad. But if you're trying to just get it, just to have it, say you missed it ordering it. But yeah, it definitely sucks when they start jacking up in price like that right out of the gate. What else you got, Mike? Anything else?
Of course, I got my pick of the week.
Oh, you got your pick of the week.
What's my pick of the week? Can you guess?
No, I don't know.
Wonder Twins.
Scumbag number 2.
I did not get Scumbag 2. He did not have it in there.
What?
Did you? Can you grab me a copy?
I'm talking to you, Mike.
It wasn't a trick question, bud.
I was trying to think if I ordered another one or not, because I know he won't have any more. Anyway, if you love the first one, you're gonna love this one. Our hero, the Scumbag, actually goes on a mission to I guess he's trying to deactivate that bomb. And but the best part about this whole fucking book is we're introduced to the I guess the terrorist organization that has this bomb. What is it? Scorpion anus or something? Well, long story short, Scumbag gets separated from Sister Mary, and one of the guys sees that he has the band Scorpions patch on his jean vest. So, oh, you're part of us. Come with us to the meeting or whatever. And it is just amazingly funny, just as good as the first one. Pick of the week. And he was still reluctant to go on this mission, so they offered him a huge briefcase full of drugs, anything you want in there, heroin, fucking cocaine.
Sounds like Baltimore all over again.
Sounds like you want to see what Baltimore look like? Watch this. Hold on. I'm going to show you Baltimore.
Close on.
And he's just so fucking nasty. He's scratching himself, smelling his fingers. There's what Baltimore looked like.
That's Baltimore.
So yeah, Scumbag number 2, pick of the week. Great stuff.
Told him to pick that up for me.
Double S says Scorpion's anus, Michael, from Spider-Man.
Scorpion anus.
What do you got, Mike or Joe?
You didn't get that, Dave?
I did not pick up Scorpion's anus. No.
Oh.
Department of Truth, number 3. My second pick of the week. And this really dives into something that, some people may be very passionate about. So there was a time, as you all know, school shootings are a bad thing. They're horrible. Unfortunately, over the last few years, several of them have happened. And there's even been conspiracy theories put out there on the internet about crisis actors and all this, just really making it sound like it's not happening, right? And that's a bad thing, okay? And they are conspiracy theories for the most part. And this kind of dived into that. And we actually got a firsthand account of a woman where it actually kind of screwed her up a little bit. And in this particular world, there's an organization out there that are trying to take what belief that people have in something and it kind of transfers it into a reality. And it really kind of screws with this lady in here. And it got deep and it got dark. Like, I haven't seen anything like this in a very long time in a comic book. Like, I got to read this and I started feeling guilty about reading this. I was like, oh my God, this got dark quick. But again, it's all about, it's weird. This book is so weird. I think that's why I like it. It's so hard to explain this, but in this particular universe, the more you believe in a conspiracy theory, this organization is somehow able to manifest it, even to the point in here where this lady who lost her child in a school shooting, and she tells you the message from her kid and how she listens to it all the time because she never answered it. And like, it got sad. And then all of a sudden she gets a flash drive where her and an actor kid are like reading scripts and going over scripts with each other. And it really drives this lady to the brink of insanity. And then the Department of Truth shows up, of course. They kind of knock her out and they get the data. And then we find out that this particular organization is called the Black Hats. So we're kind of doing a play on the whole black hat, white hat thing in here. That's really cool. Remember, the leader of this organization is Lee Avi Oswald. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. But so I like the way they played with this. I was nervous about them touching on this particular one because I know sometimes this whole crisis actor thing, that really kind of people really are passionate about that stuff. And some people are just really angry by it. So it was kind of cool the way they did it in here and how they played with it. Instead of making it a group thing, They made it, about an individual, which really brought out the heart and concern in this. And I thought that was ingeniously done. This is smart. It's just smart. And I really like it. So, yeah, this is super stash for me. Super stash. Whoosh stash is what we'll call it.
Okay, my last book I'm going to talk about tonight is Batman White Knight presents Harley Quinn #2. You guys still picking up this? Yeah. Man, her boobs are really far apart in there. You ever notice that? Man, there's a pretty big space between her boobs there.
Yeah, that costs a lot of money. That's an add-on.
That's it. So we get Harley Quinn going and finding the Neo Joker from the Batman White Knight and end up brawling with her because he thinks she's behind the murders that are happening with these Golden Age movie stars. We find out, no, that she is not the behind it, but she knows who is. And the only way that she'll give any information if she lets her get a head start and get away because Harley Quinn wants to turn her in. But Harley Quinn does talk a little bit more about the relationship with Jack Napier prior to him turning into the Joker, which it seemed like it retconned a little bit if you've seen a Joker movie where, he has these fits of laughter and he can't control it. That's what this Joker's doing in here as he's making that transition to who he is as Joker. They talk about their relationship a little bit more. And Harley Quinn actually does get a badge, to be part of the GC Gotham City Police Department, GCPD. Yeah. And she's working with another detective as well. And then we get the Gray Ghost is in this one as well. He showed up in a few of the animated series and stuff like that. And they were saying that I was reading the information on that. That was on the marquee of one of the recent books too. Instead of Zorro, it was the Gray Ghost.
Gray Ghost, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So, but he makes an appearance in here, and he ended up getting attacked because he's part of that Golden Age Actors Guild or whatever that. Yeah, and so and then we get a cameo of who was it? Does she say her name in here? No, it doesn't say her name, I don't think. We're going to get a cameo of her. But some of this art in here is pretty weird. Check out Batman's thigh there. Look how long that thing is. That's
not his thigh.
What is it?
Do I have to explain it to you?
That's his Batwang. Batwang. But overall, I'm still digging the White Knight universe. Most of the stories are really good. It takes these characters in a different direction, and I'm really digging it. So this is a stash for me too. So, Mike, did you read it this week?
I did read it this week, and yeah, I'm stashing it as well. I like the White Knight universe as well. I like the Harley and her two sons. I don't know if it's a son and daughter, two sons, or
I think it's son and daughter.
Son and daughter. They're at the park, and the kids are riding the hyenas, and the other mothers are telling them to stay away from those kids. I thought that was pretty hilarious. But yeah, this is a stash for me as well.
Nice. Okay, we'll go into lightning round.
You start singing. We can dance if we want to. You can leave your
my friend behind. These are my Star Wars Rogue One 3D glasses.
How'd those work for you?
Well, they work good for the movie. Mike, since you're big on the camera there, why don't you talk about your lightning round? What else did you get?
Lightning round, Suicide Squad. Unfortunately, this is the final issue. Good stuff. Especially there's a scene in here where since Deadshot's dead and Harley goes to see his daughter and passes on his mask to her. This was pretty good. All 11 issues. Suicide Squad. I need my squad, so bring it back. Witcher, Fading Memories, #1. This is one of them local comic shop books you were talking about. I love The Witcher. Big fan of the games. Never read the books. Big fan of the game. Big fan of the show. This is pretty good too. Witcher stops being a Witcher for a little bit and goes to be a fisherman. But
Hey,
yeah,
natural
this is it.
transitions.
Yeah,
I like
yeah. White Widow #5. Still liking this. They're getting a little carried away with her powers now. She can now create these little spider drones out of her nanite webbing.
Whew, I'm glad you
Is
said
that what we're
that.
calling it now?
I swore you're going to go with something else instead of nanite webbing. It would have been for JJ.
And no, not yet.
Not
Well,
yet.
we also learned that she could, as long as she has something to create, she could like make a motorcycle out of nothing, like dust. She could convert matter into a motorcycle. To me, they're getting a little carried away with her powers, but I'm still enjoying this. And this book goes into I Make the Boys Cry #1, which is basically a girl all girls school, which is a front for the secret assassin society that White Widow joins. Both stashes. I love this absolute universe that Jamie Tyndall is creating. So that's a stash.
Yeah. How much was that book, Mike?
Which one?
Make the Boys Cry. There were a couple different covers for that.
$4.99.
Okay, there was one cover that Astral had. I think it was like $10. I think for the cover, it might have been cover B or cover C or something.
Gotcha.
I passed on it though. The meat and potatoes are your thing.
Yeah, I love my White Widow stuff. So, a few books I haven't read yet. One of them I'm probably not going to read, and that's Power Pack. I'm probably just going to set that aside.
Dude, that's probably right up your alley. You'll probably end up loving that.
I'll let you know. Dr. Aphra #6 I have not read yet. Did you guys watch The Mandalorian today?
No, thank you for reminding me. I'll be doing that after
I
the
watched
show.
it on Saturday.
It's probably one of the best episodes so far, both seasons.
Aaron
No
Haskell
spoilers.
said it was the 1 in 10. He thinks that was I Make the Boys Cry. It was
And
$9.99.
Although this book is a reprint, I still haven't read it yet. Usagi Yojimbo, Wanderer's Road. This actually, from what I understand, reprints some of his older stuff in color. So, gonna check that out. And that's all I got for this week.
I don't have anything else. A whole lot, really. I grabbed a copy of Wonder Woman 767, the Middleton cover. Grab that.
I didn't like that.
I've been trying to get all the Middleton covers, I think. Some are hit or miss with Middleton. That's the thing. Like if you got that Batgirl 23 somewhere up there on my shelf, I mean, that's a crazy book, and that's pretty expensive. But his art is hit or miss. So I picked up some of the local comic book comic shop day or whatever it was, comic book shop day or whatever it is. Monstrous #1, Talk Stories. I had never ever read Monstrous at all. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, saying it's a really good book, but I never have read it. Picked up that. That's the foil variant for that one. I picked up Ice Cream Man #20, the Dr. Seuss variant. I thought that was really
I've
cool.
never read an Ice Cream Man book.
Oh, really? I have a couple. I have #1 and I don't know, number 10 or 12, I think. I picked up Invincible #1. I never have read this. I've heard this. It's a Kirkman book. So I picked up that. That's that local comic book day variant. And Justice League Dark, which I haven't read, which I keep picking them up, but I have not been reading them. Aaron says, local comic shops day. Thank you for all of your supports. Yeah, so those are my books. Joe, you're up with your lightning round.
All right, so my lightning round. Let's see what we got here.
I think a little video for lightning round, kind of like we have for our blast.
So I picked up Action Comics, Red Mist gives up, or Red Cloud, or whatever the character we don't care about.
Yeah.
She gives up. They imprison her. That's it. Oh, not Oprah Winfrey disappeared into space. because apparently she can. There was no hint of that. I've been reading this entire thing. There's nothing about it. But she just kind of up and disappeared. So, the Superman family, they're all happy right now.
They're all happy.
Blast. Justly Dark. So, for the third issue in a row now, we beat the Upside Down Man. And last but not least, Snake Eyes, Dead Game. So I blasted the last issue of this one, and this one kind of picked it back up. We find out that the Dead Game is an ancient game, and it takes place all the way back when the let's just call him Mummy Guy right now, in case you haven't been reading this. So Mummy Guy apparently killed people and tried to stack bodies all the way to heaven because he's in love with death. Does that sound familiar to anybody? I'll give you a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tower of Babel.
Basically, Snake Eyes is going against Thanos in this. Also, Storm Shadow shows up. I always liked it when those two fight together. It makes me happy. And then out of nowhere, because it's IDW, Bullet Man shows up. He's not even a G.I. Joe character. But he just kind of shows up. And, what his power is, he just lunges forward and runs into you. Because he's a bullet. Oh, my God. But as silly as all that was, it was surprisingly still a good comic, believe it or not. I'm not trashing this. So I don't know. This goes back and forth on me. Every time I try to talk about this comic book, it sounds more and more ridiculous, but I enjoy reading it. I think I'm going senile. And those are my books for the week. I'm done.
Oh my goodness, I think I need to get another piece of pumpkin pie. Go watch The Mandalorian. I'm gonna go to bed. Yeah. I'm gonna watch some of that. So
you're gonna have an erection after you watch Mandalorian.
Why is what's her name in there? Gina?
No.
Oh, really? I like it better when she's on there.
I liked her better in Deadpool. I thought she was sexier in there, but whatever.
She's put a little weight. She's a little more bulky. Put it that way. Put it nicely.
It looked like she could hurt you. I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely be able to mess me up. That's for sure. Anything else before we bounce out of here?
I'm tired.
Sure. You're tired. I'm tired too.
Check out my channel. The video will be up this week on the 10 rings of the Mandarin and what they look like and everything about them and how I made them for posting that video.
I can't believe you wore those for this whole show.
Through the whole show, baby.
That's good. I'm definitely looking forward to that video. Make sure when that's up, make sure you're sharing that about, because I don't think I tell you what, I don't know of any other video on YouTube that goes through and sit there and takes 30 days to make 10 rings based on a comic book character. That is awesome, and that goes above and beyond fandom, as far as I'm concerned. So definitely, when that gets up, share it out. Let people see that. Have people come to his channel and go check that out.
It also took me 30 days to make that Nordic gold casting of a zombie pop.
But to me, with this, what you got with the glow in the dark stuff, the different colors, that's just badass. Go definitely go check out Joe's video when that's up, and I'm sure you'll be able to find that on our Blasted or Stash It Facebook page. He'll be sharing a link there. Make sure you go.
I do need to do that. I always forget to do that.
Thumbs up. And make sure you give a thumbs up on this video as well. We would definitely appreciate it. So whether you blast it or whether you stash them, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Stashies are coming up.